everyone and welcome back. In today's video, we will be discussing a fairly interesting topic. Alright, Sterling, everyone's heard of the 7 deadly sins, but not very many people know the 7 heavenly virtues.
Correct. Yes. Isn't that interesting though? Huh? That is very strange how that works. But yes, there's two sides to that. And everybody, like I said, everybody knows the 7 deadly sins: pride, lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, envy, and wrath. Okay. It's been talked about in different things. The movie Seven was all about it.
Right.
Okay. And religiously, it's spoken of. People know about it. It hasn't been hidden. The one that has been hidden, which seems weird to me, is the virtues that counteract the 7 deadly sins, which are the 7 heavenly virtues. Okay. Which are prudence, temperament, justice, fortitude, hope, faith, and charity.
Yeah.
Okay, and most people lose it on those. They have no idea that those even exist, but they are. Okay, and they are actually gifts of the hierarchy of virtues, which is an angelic order.
Okay.
Now, it isn't one for one. It's not like you use this for pride and this for gluttony. It doesn't work that way. It's a combination of all of them and a combination of all the others, okay, that you use to systematically disassociate yourself from one or the other. If you're a dark practitioner, you're going to disassociate yourself from the virtues. If you are a light practitioner, you're going to try to disassociate yourself from the sins. Okay, and those are things that need more prominence out there, that you need to understand better.
They do need a better focus, yes.
Because you get prude from prudence. And most people think of that in negative light. But that's not what prudence doesn't mean that. That's prudence taken way out of context.
Right.
Okay. Prudence itself is more balanced. That's kind of what you need when you're looking at something in a prudent way. Okay? You're looking at it in a more balanced way.
Right. It's
yes.
Looking up the definition, it was wisdom in practical affairs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And common sense, things of that nature.
Yes.
Okay? Not going overboard, not going too light, not going too hard, keeping it in the middle, keeping everything balanced out. Okay. Justice. Okay. Justice is difficult in our society because there's an anti-justice thing that goes around all the time. Okay. But justice in itself is, to me, it's a need. Okay, justice is a need. Something happens. Okay. Somebody gets shot. This happens. Somebody does this to somebody else, and then there's a sense of justice that needs to take hold. It's consequences. That's what justice gives you, essentially, or someone else. They're consequences of your actions. Okay. Needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I know in our society there are people that look at things and go, no, you just need compassion and blah, blah. But no, you don't. You also need justice.
Right.
Okay? There are victims, and victims need justice.
Yes.
Okay? And it needs to be balanced and fair justice, but justice needs to occur. Okay? So it is important. Okay? Temperament. Okay? Temperament's easy, Again, that's another balance thing. Okay? You can't go too hard. You can't go too soft. You can't. A lot of these things are more of a balance.
It's that's the kind of the idea of self-control and
Yes. Or limiting. Okay?
Right, yes.
Moderation. Moderate what you're doing. Okay? Take it in stride.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If you get angry, take a deep breath. Okay? That's using temperance. Okay? Give yourself a moment. Let it sink in. Understand what's happening. Make a decision from there and go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
Fortitude. A lot of people switch that word with courage. When they do this. You'll see the list, and a lot of times, no more fortitude, it's now courage. Because a lot of people don't really understand what fortitude is, but they understand courage. So it gets switched out.
Yeah.
And they're closely related. Okay, fortitude and courage is
Right.
Really
Well,
close. Mhm.
looking up the definition, courage is used in the definition
Of
for
fortitude.
fortitude.
Yes.
So it's strength when facing any kind of adversity or damaging situation or anything with courage.
Yes. Yes. So it's not actually courage, it's acting with courage.
Yeah.
That's essentially what fortitude is.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody can be courageous. Acting on it, haha, that's different. You know, so fortitude, again, necessary. When bad things are happening, you need to step up. Okay?
Right.
Working again with like justice. You see an injustice, you need to step up. In our society, we've pretty much been led to the don't do anything.
Right.
You know, sit back and observe it. This would say no. Fortitude is no, you don't sit back and observe. You interfere.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's having courage,
Find your
but
courage.
but it's
And then,
act on it.
yes, you act on that courage.
Yes.
And that's the important part.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean that you have to go hog wild and just beat someone to death. All it means is you need to interfere, okay, intervene to get both sides to calm down. Or at least to stop whatever's happening. Okay.
Right.
Okay. In the issue, you know. Again, there's a lot of bullying that happens, and fortitude needs to happen.
Right.
you
Right.
know. Especially in that situation, no matter who it is. You need to look at it, see it, find your courage, and then act on it. Instead of being told, no, you can't.
Right.
Which is
Right.
kind of the world we live in. Okay? So, we've got those pretty much out of the way.
Mhm.
Okay? Now, we go into faith, okay, which is something we're trying to help people with.
Right.
Okay? And it's kind of hard to have fortitude without faith
It really
in
is.
something
It really is.
bigger than yourself.
Yes.
That's where it's going to rely on. Okay?
Mhm.
You have to rely on your faith. Okay? And I don't mean you have to rely on your religion. I mean you have to rely on your faith. Okay? Okay? That thing that's out there that's bigger than you, that you know,
Right.
you can rely on that faith.
Mhm.
Okay? When things are horribly bad, the faith that yes, this can get me through it. I don't need the escape,
Right.
which is what the sins get you.
Yeah.
They just give you an escape. And it's not a true escape because you come right back to it.
Oh,
when
no.
It's over. This allows you to face it and move on.
Mhm.
Complete whatever cycle that is and go forward.
Right.
Faith helps you do that. Okay. Hope. Well, without hope, faith doesn't do you much good at all.
Right.
Because and that's what hope is. Hope is knowing,
Yeah.
and it's believing.
It's the
Okay.
the self assured belief that things will get better.
Yes. 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 I hope this works. Okay. Without hope, everything is lost. You have to have hope. And again, you get hope through faith.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then there's charity. Okay, what does charity mean? Does that charity mean if you win the lotto, you have to give it all to other people?
No. No.
It doesn't mean that. That's
No.
taking it way overboard.
Well,
Okay?
it's
Charity is giving up your time. Okay, it's giving up your time, your money at
and
times.
it is
It's service. Well, whatever service that could be
compassion and
to someone
generosity
else.
and
Yes, to someone or something else.
yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
and not for your benefit.
Right.
Okay, charitable, not to boost your ego, not to be this, not to be that. It is giving it away selflessly to help someone else.
Yeah.
Okay. But at the same time, it gives you an unbelievable confidence boost, usually when you're done. Because you feel good about having done it.
Which in turn helps build the other aspects.
Right.
It helps build your hope. It helps build your faith. It helps build.
Yes, but it also helps others
And it helps
to
others to
understand
see.
hope.
And
And faith, because you just did something for them,
right,
okay, without expecting anything in return.
right,
And that's the key. It's without expecting anything in return. That's where a lot of people lose it, because they think that, yeah, I'm going to give charitable, but you better. No, that's not the point. The point is giving it.
right.
Okay? If they do what they need to do with it, great. If they don't, great. It's got to go both ways.
Yeah.
Okay? Otherwise, it's not true charity. Okay? Then it turns
Absolutely.
into obligation. They're obligated to do something.
Right.
And then it's more like a contract, where charity is not a contract. Here. You know. So, now that's not to say that if you give to a charity, that they're not obligated to do certain things. Those type of charities are, but that's different.
Right.
Those are
Those
businesses.
are organizations.
Yeah, organizations that
Yeah.
do things. Your charity is just giving of yourself.
Right. Right.
Okay. Okay. And the only obligation you have is to your own. It's to you.
Mm-hmm.
Why you did it, what you did it for. Okay. The reasons that you, this one as opposed to that one, those type of things. But it's utilizing those principles to effectively nullify the 7 deadly sins.
Right.
Okay, which are all around us, because they, like, again, they tempt. And they tempt through escape.
Right.
Okay. Now, let's talk about some of those. Pride. Okay. Pride and proud are not the same.
Right.
Okay. You can
Absolutely.
be proud of something, okay, but you have pride in things. Okay. That's where you go off the rails.
Right.
Is pride in things, not being proud of something. I can be
Right.
proud of an accomplishment. Okay.
In relation to that,
Yes.
so some people will talk about the ego.
Right.
Not is the ego
Bad? No.
bad?
Without the ego, nobody would do a thing
Okay, so there would be no ambition, no drive.
at all. There'd be no Leo. I mean, Leo's essentially your ego. There's no sun. Your ego makes you you. It's your individuality. It's your radiance. Okay? It's what makes you shine. It's your essence, essentially, is your ego. Now, being egocentric, that has nothing to do really with your ego.
Right.
Being egocentric means that all you care about is your ego and yourself and how you feel. Okay? And everybody else is disregarded. And that's not ego. Ego's why you get up in the morning. Ego's why you make certain choices in your life. Ego, that's where your ego drives you. That's
Okay.
what it does.
Okay.
It's not bad. There's nothing bad about your ego. Okay? It's taking it to the extreme that drives you there. Okay? I mean, again, without ego, there would be no difference between you and me
Right.
at all. Okay? Things won't work that way.
Mm-hmm.
Everything has to have its own ego. Okay, so no, it's not. Okay, however, pride. Okay, pride and proud, like I said, are two different things. Okay, if I have pride in something that I did, okay, I'm being egocentric. If I'm proud of something I did, I'm not. Okay, fine line, but there is a line
Mm-hmm.
there between what one is and what one is not. Okay. Okay. Pride is me. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? It's me needing. Okay. Essentially, feedback from others about something that I've done.
Okay.
Well, I have pride in this, so I'm going to tell everybody about it. Okay. I'm going to
Is
put
that-
trophies up in all over my office. I'm going to go out and talk about everything that I do and blah, 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 blah. I mean, those things. That's pride.
Is that why pride is said to be the sin of Lucifer?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah. He wanted everyone to know.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
It's me. It's me. It's about me. Okay, the whole thing.
Right.
Okay, and again, Lucifer not being Satan.
Right. Right.
You know, yes. But he kind of embellished himself to saying, I'm I am the one. I was, he takes pride in being the first angel to fall. Who would take pride in that?
Yeah.
The last one, sure. But the first one? Wow. Do you like walked out the door and got punched in the face and dropped? Just not something to have pride in. But again, proud is something different. You can be proud of your kids, you can be proud of your accomplishments, but it's yours. You take.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're the one who's proud. Okay. But it's for you. It's not to shine out to everybody else and say, this is what I did.
Right. No, it helps to fuel that.
It's your security.
It helps to fuel that inner fire, that
confidence,
that
security.
drive, ambition.
Yeah, it gives you confidence, it gives you security, it grounds you. Okay? And that's a good thing.
Right.
It's when you try to express it to everybody else that it turns into pride. And then it becomes something that you don't want anything to do with. It drives people away from you.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, gluttony. Let's talk about being a glutton, okay? Okay, you can be a glutton for a lot of things. You can be a glutton for punishment.
Oh, man.
Okay? You
Yeah.
can be a glutton for food. You can be a glutton for just about anything. Okay? And it's just overindulgence.
Right.
That's what a glutton does. And it's overindulgence to make up for things you don't have. Okay? I know a lot of people that have pride in things that are huge. Okay? Why? Because pride doesn't do it. They're not actually proud of their achievements themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They need feedback from other people to confirm how they think they should feel. Okay? Gluttons do the same thing. Gluttons have no sense of security. Most of them. They don't have a lot of confidence. Okay? They need things all the time
Okay.
to give them confirmation.
Yeah.
Okay? That they're a good person. Or that they feel good. And that they should feel this way. And they want to feel good. And they want to feel this. And hey, this tastes really great, so right now I feel good. But it's fake. It's trying to fill a void that they can't fill with that. They need accomplishment, things of that nature to fill it, and they can't fill it with whatever they're gluttonous about. Okay? We all have things that we do that with. Okay?
Yeah, from time to time, absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Right. So, lust. Okay? Same thing. You can lust after so many things. It doesn't have to be sexual.
Right.
And a lot of people take it right there, but it doesn't. You can lust after money. You can lust after a lot of things. Shiny objects and large houses. And you need these things. And again, it's confirmation for yourself. But not because of anything you've done, because of what you've acquired. And not how you look at it, how other people look at it. Oh, you got a really nice yard, blah, 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 blah. You lust after those things. I like that guy's car. I need that car. So you start lusting after somebody else's car. It's like, but you've got a car. It's not like you need a car. It's like, no, but I want that car. Right, but when you get that car, you're going to want somebody else who's got a nicer car. It never ends.
Right.
Okay? And lust is the same way. And when you look at it more in a physical form, like a physical intimacy form, okay, you need confirmation from all being able to, from a male's perspective, being able to, conquer or whatever you want to call it, women. Yes, I was able to sleep with all of these women. They all liked me so much that they slept with me. And it's that confirmation. Okay, but that's the escape. Because the confirmation about that needs to come from you. Because a lot of these same women are doing the same thing you're doing. To get confirmation from all these guys that they're worthy.
Again, yeah.
It's a self-worth thing. You need to do that on yourself.
Sign of an unhealthy ego.
Right.
Yeah.
Unhealthy ego, or you have no faith in anything other than you.
Right.
So then you need confirmation from all these people that you're God, essentially. Okay? So, greed. Okay, let's talk about greed. Greed. Most people think of money when they think about greed. But again, you can be greedy for other things. Okay? But again, it's a need.
Mhm.
Greed is a need. It's a need to acquire more stuff
Right.
for confirmation. I mean, it all goes back to confirmation, confirming, I'm worthy, I'm worthy, I'm worthy. What's your self-worth? All of the sins go for that.
Mhm.
Okay? That's the temptation, to knock you off your game. Or maybe you're not worthy. And you get stuck in that, maybe I'm not worthy. And then you can get into depression and you can get into all
Oh,
these
that,
oh my
that,
God.
that is very,
It's
very,
just spirals.
that's very
Yeah,
shaky ground.
it's like walking down a
That's for-
spiraling staircase. And we all have gotten there. Because
Mhm.
every once in a while you need to get knocked off your platform. I mean, you're gonna, boom. And sometimes it's a necessity because you were getting a little too crazy with things. And then you come down and you're like, okay. That's when you rely on faith. That's when you rely on your higher power. Okay? That's when you need hope.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And that's really where you need to start working charity. Okay? Even if you don't have a lot of money, you can devote your time to something, to someone else, to helping them.
Yeah.
Okay? And getting out of yourself for a minute, and getting through them. Okay, let's talk about sloth. What is sloth all about? Well, sloth is what?
Sloth. Well, a lot of people equate
Sloths
that
will
with
sit in their
laziness.
home, yep, and really do not much of anything.
Yeah.
Okay, they'll watch TV. They'll have all these aspirations, but they never take it upon themselves to initialize doing anything, or if they do, they don't follow through with it. And if they follow through with it, they don't complete it. Okay, there's always a piece missing.
Mhm.
Okay, in their head they usually have, and they can get lost up there.
Yeah.
Or they'll choose something else. Television show, something to watch on YouTube, some sort of distraction. Okay, and the problem with sloth is you never get anywhere.
Mm.
You stay in exactly the same spot forever.
Yeah.
And that again leads to self-deprivation. You have no confidence because you've never proved anything to yourself.
Right.
For any reason, okay? And it's a cycle that's easy to get caught into. A lot of people do it. There are people that are on disability, not because they're actually disabled, but because they've gotten so caught up in sloth, they can't do anything.
Mhm.
Okay? And for some reason, a lot of the professional counselors and stuff don't seem to help a lot in that area from people I know. I'm not saying all of them. I'm not attacking anybody. I'm saying the industry itself, though, seems to want to regulate that stuff with medication. And the government likes to just give people money so that they can continue just to live this way. But most of these people are unhappy
Yeah.
being like this. And a lot of them are overweight because they don't move.
Mhm.
They're not getting out. They're not doing things, okay? They're not getting the air in their lungs. They're not moving out. They're not really expressing themselves. They're kind of stuck in their own potential and never go anywhere from it. They may interact a little bit here and there with people, but that's about it. And most of them become hermits and isolate.
Mhm.
Okay? It's not a good way to live because you're not doing anything with your life. And then envy. I mean, envy sucks.
Yeah.
Yes. It's wanting something you don't have. Always. If you're an envious person, it doesn't matter what you accumulate, you always need something more that somebody else has.
Right.
Okay? You're never happy. You're never happy. And your self-worth is having what everybody else has. That's exactly what you're building it on. I need to have this because you have it. I need to have this because you have it. I need to have this because you have it. I need to sleep with so-and-so's husband or wife because they're theirs. And no one cares about consequences of any of it.
Right.
And that's horrible. That's a horrible way to live. You're never content with your own life because you need what the Joneses have. or your kids need to be like these kids, and your wife needs to be like this, and you have, because so-and-so, and I look up to so-and-so, and they have this, so I need to have this. It never stops.
Right.
Envy's a horrible place to dwell. I've been there. I mean, I have. I've envied things that other people have had. And usually at some point I've kind of looked up and went, I never even wanted that. Why would I want that? You know, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, and then we have wrath. Okay? So, wrath.
Oh, yeah, this is a touchy one.
Well, I don't know how touchy it is. Wrath is, it's not just violence. Wrath is like berserker mode. You know, wrath of whoever. You know, when somebody talks about the wrath of somebody, it's not, you know, hey, you punched my brother in the face and broke his nose, I'm coming over and breaking your nose, and that's that. No. You punched my brother in the nose, I'm going to blow your house up while you're sleeping. That's wrath. Okay?
Okay.
Who wants to go there? I mean, wrath is road rage.
Yeah.
When it gets completely out of control.
Mm-hmm.
Wrath is being at a party. Somebody upsets you. Guns get pulled out and a 6-year-old kid dies. That's wrath. Okay? It's not justice by any means.
Right.
It is over that. It is overblown justice for the most part. Okay? It is also uncontrolled for the most part. Wrath is very uncontrolled.
Okay.
Even when they talk about, like, you know, well, wrath of God, they're not talking about, you know, okay, some little thing's going to happen that's going to teach me a lesson. No, it's like we're going to wipe out the firstborn, you know, sons of Israel or Egypt, unless you have unless you have lamb's blood on your doorways and door sills and stuff. That's wrath. Okay, that's, you've gone too far.
Mm-hmm.
We're done, and that's not good for people. Okay. Now, God, angels, all that, we've all heard about, you know, the wrath of God and things of that nature, and different pantheons and different traditions have their own.
Mm-hmm.
We have Kali, you know, in India, and, you know, that's wrath, because she is a berserker. When she goes, she goes. And she doesn't stop. That's the problem. It's like, well, it's great, yeah. She's great. Until it's over, because she doesn't stop. I mean, one of the ones is that she's standing on top of her husband, just pretty much about to kill him before she can stop herself. That's wrath. Okay. Wrath has unintended consequences always, because there's no reason, there's no logic. It's just mayhem.
And there's no control. Yeah.
No, there's absolutely no control over it. It's completely chaotic. And even if there is control over it, the control itself is unbalanced. It's over the top.
Mm.
Okay. What's a good one for that? Concentration camps. Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
That was wrath. We're going to decimate and destroy and kill every Jew. Really? For what? I mean, there was no. It was ordered, though.
Right.
There was an ordered way of how they were going about doing it. Everything wasn't chaotic. They knew what they were doing. They set it up. But it was wrath. It was complete. It was death. Okay? And again, when you get into any of those sins, and again, you can even say the last one that we just talked about, concentration camps and the decimation of the Jews in Europe, it was a distraction. Okay? And they used it as a distraction to further their own cause.
Yeah.
Okay? Even it was their own self-delusion. And that's another thing that happens with all of the sins. It self-deludes you to a point that by the time you figure it out, you've already destroyed yourself, essentially. Okay? And it usually has nothing. There are dark connections to them.
Yeah.
There are not. This isn't something that's just in you. Hey, there are dark connections with these things.
Yes.
Okay, you are still controlled.
Mm.
Okay, like, and you're not really controlled the other way. You have free will the other way. Dark, you don't have free will. You have free will with the light. Dark, you take control, and they use those things to feed and control off you, and that's that.
Mhm.
It's a means to an end, and the end is you.
Right.
Okay, your grace. See you. Once you're depleted, you're done, and there's nothing left. Okay.
Wow.
But again, you use the 7 heavenly virtues to combat the 7 deadly sins,
Mhm.
and it's kind of like a little, I guess, war, you can say, that you.
And it's
then
like
be
a
with
like a tug
yourself
of
all
war.
the time,
Yeah. It's like a tug of war. Yeah.
But that's been talked about throughout history.
Mhm.
I believe it was Plato that talked about you had a demon on one shoulder, a demon on the other, and he didn't mean demon like they do in Christianity at all.
Right. Right. It was
Demons there is DAE.
Damon.
MLM?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Damon.
demons.
Yeah.
Okay? The good one and the bad one. I mean, that's how a lot of people looked at it. One was whispering into your ear, the other was whispering into your ear. Which one are you going to feed?
Right.
Okay? It's the same thing. The sins and the virtues kind of work that same way. Okay? Which one are you going to focus on, people?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
Kind of like that Native American story. The grandpa talking to his grandson about the 2 wolves inside fighting.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
And which one wins?
yeah. And which one's going to win?
The one you feed.
Right. Yeah, because they talk about that. They talk about it with a bear.
Mhm.
I've heard the bear one before. Sure. Every religion has those things. And even when you get into like the, Jewish mysticism, the Kabbalah, there's a holy tree of life and an unholy tree of life. It's the same tree. It's how you connect. It's what you're connecting to through that tree. Okay? Most people may have an issue with that, but I don't care because it's true. It's been documented. We know there's a tree. There's a holy tree and an unholy tree. And we will get into that in later
Yes,
discussions
in
about
a
things.
much later video. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So, do we need to add anything further to this?
I don't think I have any questions. That was you answered about the one that I had about the wrath of God.
Okay.
So, yeah, I can't think of anything else.
Yeah. Well, and again, on that one, the whole tree, okay, tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Mhm.
Angels already knew about the tree. God already knows about the tree. God isn't just good. God is good and bad. He's got everything. He just understands how to utilize it all. We don't. Okay? It's kind of one of those things.
Mhm.
So the wrath of God, that's beyond us.
Right.
Okay? We do not have the capacity to ever understand the true balance of that.
Oh no.
We can't.
No. Yeah. We're like trying to understand the mind of God.
Well, it's be like trying to understand the all.
Yeah.
You can't. Okay. Oh, I'm good and evil. Thanks. Yeah, both. Yep, wrapped into one thing, kind of nice thing, It's like, okay, well, okay. Now, again, essentially biting into the apple, the whole thing with Adam and Eve, opened up the whole sin thing and got everything going. But at the same time, okay, it opened us up to things that we weren't ready for.
Yeah.
As a species. And because time is cyclical, you can't go back and change it. And that's another confirmation that time is cyclical. Because if time was linear, angels, God, whoever, is going to go back and change it. If it's cyclical, it runs its cycle. And then a new cycle, and a new cycle, and a new cycle, continuously all the time.
Right.
There's nothing to change.
Well,
The cycles go forward.
It's also further confirmation of our free will because, there's nothing saying that they all couldn't go back and restart the cycle over again.
Right.
But if he did that, he would be robbing us of our free will.
Well, true, but there's no way to go. He could replay it, and I think that's happened. That was talked about. I mean, if we're talking about the Christianity and Judaism, he wiped out mankind how many times before he stopped?
Right.
Or it stopped.
Right.
I mean, and you have to look at that.
Yeah.
Well, that was how God ended cycles.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a let's go back and rewind. to the beginning and start over. It was this ends, new cycle begins. Okay.
Right.
And essentially, these are, if we believe in God as the all, these are God's cycles through itself.
Right.
It's not going to do that. This is how it set it up.
Mm-hmm.
So why would it? It would have to destroy the entire process to do it.
Right.
So essentially, if we could go back in time, we would essentially be destroying the cycle that the all created, and realities would just cease to exist. Not a branch off in different directions. It would cease to exist. Your cycle's over.
Wow.
You know, I mean, that's the way I look
Yeah.
at it. But
Yeah.
you know, that's kind of, when you look at things in the forms of these cycles, there is no linear.
Right.
You know, time is a cycle, beginning, middle, end. And it has increments that are infinite. You know, it's like, well, when does the first cycle of time begin? Did it just begin? Is it beginning now? And when did it end? Has it ended yet?
Right.
Because there are many endings to different cycles. You know, this age, that age, those are all time cycles. But again, so's a clock.
Right.
So's a watch.
Well, that's yeah.
So's a second.
Everything, yeah,
Those cycles.
it's the cycles, and it's everything has its own different cycle.
Right.
You know.
But if the cycle ends, because it has a beginning, a middle, and an end, then even the smallest cycles have already initiated, grown, and completed. So they can't be reversed. In that sense. So there, in that sense, time travel can't exist the way that we think of it.
Right.
Okay. It may be possible to do time travel the way that, like the ancient mystics talked about it, like with Pensives, where you
can go back and
you
view
go,
it.
You can go back and view, and you can do like OBE, where your spirit body, whatever you want to call it, goes to that place, and then you can observe things that are happening, but you can't change them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that I could see happening, because all you're doing is revisiting a cycle that's already gone through, and you have no ability to interact or change it at all. I believe that can happen, and I believe that as far as going forward, cycles that haven't begun or stopped, I think what people see there are potentials.
Okay.
I think that's what they're seeing. If this cycle continues, this is the most likely outcome, and I think that's what people see.
Okay.
And I think those they can see. I think some people can see them more like as a warning, like all the prophets did. Hey, got a sign. This is going to happen, man. You know. And at some point, that cycle may end up having to end that way. But I think we have the control to elongate it.
you can elongate it or change it. I mean, that's
Right, or change the cycle.
some of
I'm
the,
not sure, and that's going to be, again, a measure of different people's faith. If God says something's going to happen, is it going to happen? Revelations. Let's go there.
Well, that's.
Is Revelations going to happen? I think the only thing, if you're a Christian or a Catholic, well, Catholics aren't Christians, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Tradition-wise, whatever tradition you're in, if you go to the point and you're like, well, if we can change it, then Revelations isn't set in stone, I think you're going to have a lot of faithful people that say, no, that's not true. It's going to happen at some point.
Right.
So for them, I think the only logic that would work in the scenario we're talking about is it doesn't have to be us, though.
It can push it back.
Right.
That's kind of what what you were talking about, the elongation of the cycle.
Elongating it. Yeah, you can elongate it, but you can't.
Because I'm thinking going back to some of the Old Testament prophets, where I think it was King Ahab that was warned about his kingdom being destroyed,
Right.
and he repented, and God relented and said, "Okay, you won't see it, but your son will."
Right. Yeah, elongating it. Right. And then again, because we also have to incorporate the all into this conversation, the all is timeless.
Right.
So we have no idea what the all, but the all is also omnipotent, so all powerful, okay, omniscient, all knowing, okay, and omnipresent, everywhere. If it's all knowing, it knows
Right.
what's going to happen, but it's also outside of cyclical,
It's outside of
Boundaries.
cyclical time. Yeah.
completely outside of it. So, yeah, you know, yeah, it's just interesting how that works, and that's not just time, because two-dimensional reality, there's no time, but there's cycles.
Mm-hmm.
One-dimensional reality, there's cycles. The all has none.
Right.
The all is with it's all cycles and no cycles together. So at that level of consciousness, yeah, the all would be able to time travel, I'm sure. Because it's outside of
Well, I
cycles.
was going to say, I don't think it would even.
I don't know if it would. I'm not even going to try to guess because I'm not even going to try to comprehend what the all would.
Well, I was just going to say, I don't even know if the concept would even apply to the all, because it is outside of time,
Right.
but time exists within it.
Yeah. And for all intents and purposes, there may be a reason for it to happen in the first place, as far as
Right.
the all's concerned, and it's not going to stop it. Why would it?
Right. Right.
Okay. Especially if it directed itself, within itself, free will. Well, okay. I have to let these
Well,
things play out.
gotta let this play out now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you chose this path. Good luck to you.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But, okay, so anything else we need to cover on this one?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you joining us, viewing. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.
Thank you so much.